What is up, guys? Duganator9 here. So we are continuing and doing part 2 today of the video series we started yesterday. If you guys haven't watched it, I'll link it down below. We're talking about the weight of the operators in Rainbow Six Siege. We talked about the defensive operators yesterday. Today we're going to be going over the offensive operators. Like I told you guys yesterday, I was laying in bed thinking about that for some weird reason. I guess I was about to fall asleep in Dream World. And just popped into my head like, I wonder how much what these guys carry weighs. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. We're going to start with Sledge. As you guys know, Sledge carries a sledgehammer, hence the name. Sledge is definitely going to be on the heavier side. Did a little research. Seems to me for a heavy-duty hammer like he has with a crowbar on the other end, you're going to be looking at about 20 or so pounds, which is fairly heavy as far as the offensive operators go. In general, the offensive guys tend to be a little bit lighter. Just on, kind of my surface look at them. But yeah, like I said, Sledge is definitely going to be on the heavier side. Next up is Thatcher. Thatcher throws an EMP grenade, so he's got, 2 to 3 extra grenades. He should be a fairly nimble, fairly light operator. Shouldn't really get bogged down. He should be fairly quick. After that, we're coming to Ash. I would say Ash is probably right down the middle. I mean, she's got an assault rifle, a pistol, and then basically another full-size gun to shoot her breaching charge out of. Shouldn't be too heavy. I would say fully loaded, probably right around maybe 10 or so pounds. So she should be a fairly quick, fairly nimble operator. Not quite as fast as some of the operators like a Thatcher who carries an MP grenade, but should be fairly quick still. After that, we come to Thermite. Thermite carries 2 fairly substantial breaching charges. I had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how much these things weigh, but just judging by how he puts them out, I can't imagine these things are light. I mean, I would say they're probably at least 10 or so pounds each. That's just kind of a guess on my part. And he's carrying 2 of those things, so that puts him right at around 20 pounds. So he's definitely on the heavier side, definitely creeping up. And that's something I'm not 100% sure how much those things weigh. If anybody has any experience with something like that, I'd love to know down below in the comments. Again, I've never breached a wall before, so I'm not 100% sure. After that is Twitch. Twitch essentially carries a shock drone. It's about the size of an Xbox 360 controller, which I picked up mine before I did this video. It maybe weighs a pound at most, so she should be very, very, very nimble, very, very light on her feet, very quick around corners and whatnot. Next is Glaz. I would say Glaz is probably going to be the lightest operator. He has no special gadgets to carry. He just carries one gun with a scope on it. Other than that, I mean, I'm not counting breaching charges or anything like that. We're just looking at the special abilities, but he definitely should probably be the quickest operator just because he's not carrying anything special. Next up is Fuse. So Fuse is a little bit difficult to kind of figure out. Each one of his little systems, I'm not sure what they're called, we'll call them fuses. Each one of his fuses deploys 5 grenades. I looked up the average grenade. An M67 grenade weighs right at 14 ounces, so just under a pound. And if each one has 5 and then maybe another 5 pounds for the actual mechanism itself, we're looking at about 10 pounds per, so that'd put him at anywhere on the low end from 15 to 20 pounds. So he's definitely on the heavier side. He should be a little bit slower. Maybe not necessarily clunky, but, shouldn't be around corners too quickly and stuff like that. I would say he's probably on the heavier side. Next up is Blitz. So Blitz has a ballistic shield. Doing a little research on the actual ballistic shields, it seems like on the low end they tend to be about 15 pounds, and they range up from there. The ones that I were looking at that were somewhat similar to what he had seemed to be around 25 or so pounds, so Blitz should definitely be one of the heavier operators. He should not be super mobile, just because, especially where his shield is, he's carrying it on one arm. He should have a fairly difficult time maneuvering and what have you. Next up is IQ. IQ basically has a little pop-up, 7-inch tablet on her arm. I used tablets before. Like I said yesterday, I've used little iPad Airs and stuff like that, and they weigh basically nothing. So she should definitely be on the quicker side. After that is Buck. So Buck carries an underbarrel shotgun. I actually thought this thing was going to be quite a bit heavier than it was, and I ended up actually looking it up on Google, And it said that the attachment that his weapon is based off of is only about 6 pounds, so it's really not that heavy. Now, bear in mind it is under his gun, so maybe that makes it a little more difficult, but he should actually be on the lighter side. Last but not least is Montaigne. Montaigne is definitely by far the heaviest operator. A full-on shield head to toe, probably going to come in around 40 to 60 pounds. So he is definitely getting on up there as far as the weight is concerned. He should be a really clunky, really hard to use operator. Really tough to get around. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love for you guys to leave me some comments below. Let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anyone's gadgets? Is anything heavier than we thought it was going to be? So I appreciate you guys checking the video out. If you like it, like I said, give it a thumbs up. And if you like the channel, please drop down below and give me a subscribe.